What if the truth was never lost, only buried? For centuries, historians, scholars, and even colonial records have confirmed what many tried to silence. The original Israelites were a black people scattered across continents but never erased. Their skin was dark, their customs ancient, and their covenant with Yah eternal. This journey uncovers how the Spanish and Portuguese Jews, described as dark-skinned, Semitic, shared one bloodline. Chased by the Inquisition, many fled to Portugal, then beyond, preserving their heritage across borders. But the story doesn't end in Iberia. Across from West Africa, black Jews built synagogues, kept Torah, and passed down the laws of Moses. The Limba in southern Africa, the Igbo in Nigeria, the Beta Israel in Ethiopia, tribes across the continent boldly declared, "We are the children of Israel." These aren't isolated claims. These are voices rising from the dust, connected by oral histories, Torah traditions, and the unbroken rhythm of their identity. No such legacy exists among European Jews. No centuries of tribal witness, no matching traditions, no trace of ancient covenant keeping. Maps, art, and archaeology tell the same story. The Israelites were scattered, enslaved, and displaced, but never lost. The world always knew who they were. Their presence was visible, their customs alive, their story intact. This book doesn't speculate. It confirms the Israelites were black, bound by blood, culture, and covenant to the Most High. This is not just history, it's restoration. The truth was never destroyed, only buried beneath centuries of deception. Get your copy of They Always Knew We Were Israelites today, available now on Amazon.com.
Salama family, salama, how y'all doing today? Hope you're blessed and highly favored. I guess y'all wondering why I'm up so early. Reason being is because once again, I ain't get a lot of sleep. And, my sleep is intermittent. And, usually I'll just wait till 3:30. But, hey, I say maybe if I change it up, maybe I could get my circadian rhythm back. But anyway, the title of this is What Happens After 2027? So before I get into that, I'm going to make a few comments. And first of all, let's put this on the table first. Okay. Repeat after me, family. Repeat after me. Yakova's opinion is Yakova's opinion. Okay. I never claim to be a prophet. I don't claim to be a prophet. I just show y'all what I see. I just happen to have a good track record. Okay. So let's put that on the table. All right. Secondly, all of this stuff, be honest with you, is like overwhelming for me. Because, y'all know I've been doing this for a long time. To see the accuracy of the prophecies is mind-boggling. Now, a lot of people have their own made-up minds of what the scripture says and what it teaches, and I think this and I think that. I'm like, show me in the scripture. I don't want no dreams, right? I don't want to hear nothing about, Yahuwah told me, right? Maybe he did, and that's for you. Okay, but for me, I'm a scripture man. I go by the biblical prophets, right? And in the Bible, Old and New Testament, right? I'm a Bible man. With that said, we have to understand that all of the prophecies are coming to pass. Every single one. And I'm going to show you my timeline. Is that okay with y'all? What I see from my timeline. Maybe it's not going to happen. I don't think we have a lot of time left, and I'm going to show you why. And one of the signs, right, and people not paying attention to it, is the great falling away. Now, this show isn't about the falling away, but I'm seeing it. I'm watching it in real life, IRL. And, we got so-called Hebrew Israelites, first they say Gentiles can't be saved. Then they go from Gentiles can't be saved to I don't think Yeshua the Messiah. Then from I don't think Yeshua the Messiah that the whole New Testament is wrong. Well, just throw the whole Bible out. Not only do you have that, you have people who say that Yahuwah is not Yahusha and that Yahusha is not Yahuwah, and so they're not the same, so you don't have to worship Yahusha, worship the Father. I'm going to tell y'all. Y'all think it's an opinion situation. It's just my opinion. Everybody wrong. Everybody got their own opinion. No, it's a salvific issue. You might not think it's a salvific issue. It is a salvific issue. Is Yahusha Yahuwah? It's salvific. Well, you know, Jacoba, some of us don't believe we should worship the Son. Y'all don't know the Bible. Y'all dumber than a doorknob. I hate to say it, but y'all dumber than a doorknob are spiritually deceived. Because the Bible is clear. Now, if you tell me you no longer believe the scriptures, then that's cool. You don't believe the scriptures, old and new. Okay, fine. That's good. You go do your thing. You're not an Israelite. You're not a believer. You're not a follower of Yahushua. But don't act like you following Yahuwah and you don't worship the Son. Because the Bible said, great is the mystery of godliness, that Yahuwah was manifest in the flesh. I'm just saying, either you believe the scriptures or you don't. The manipulation of the text. Look, I'm telling y'all, whether it be deception or infiltration or both, the Israelite community has been infiltrated. And they have a whole bunch of people following them to hell. Don't get it twisted. Oh, well, you know, the reason why Yahusha can't be the Messiah, he can't be the Messiah because he wasn't anointed. Yahusha was never anointed like David, so he can't be the Messiah because the Bible said he would be. I'm like, what? I'm like, is this just a lack of understanding, or is this agent stuff? Is this New World Order? I'm like, what? What you mean Yahushua wasn't anointed? Do you know what anointing means? Do you know when the Holy Spirit came down on him like a dove, he was anointed? Do you not know that the Bible makes a comparison and analogies of the oil and the Holy Spirit and anointing you for work and for power? I'm like, what? Oh, well, you know, I think you're right, son. So you got receipts. You got receipts. Receipts from where? Not from the Bible. Boy, I tell y'all, maybe I'm too emotional because I think I am sometimes. But I'm like, oh my goodness. We are, look, we are at the threshold, and we're going to talk about that today. We are at the threshold of Revelation 12, Revelation 13. We are in it. And y'all want to fall away from the faith? What? Is this the time to be denying the Savior, the only begotten of the Father? Is this the time to be denying Yahusha's divinity? Do you not know? And I guess I have to go off on this because this is not what I came to talk about right now. Do you not know there's no salvation unless Yahusha is Yahuwah? Do you not know that? You claim to know your Old Testament, you Torah only. But guess what? It talks about that. It talks about Yahuwah is the only Savior, but y'all want to ignore that. Y'all ignore Isaiah 53 and you want to assign that to somebody else like Jeremiah. What? The idiocy. Y'all be like, well, Yacoba, you just a Christian. I will be a Christian before I be a denier of the Savior. This is not a popularity contest. Y'all denying the Savior at the point where the Antichrist is about to put a whammy on everybody. Do y'all know what times we're in? Oh my goodness, we are in trouble. Y'all don't understand the Torah. I'm not saying all of y'all, because a lot of y'all do. So if the shoe don't fit, I'm not talking about y'all. But we be going off of emotions and feelings, and I think. Well, what does the Torah say? What does the scripture say? What does what we call the Old and New Testament say? You either believe it or you don't. I'm going to tell y'all, and we're going to get into what I came here to do today. The world is taking over. Look, listen to me. The world is taken over by Satanists. Come on. Almost every level of government is run by Satanists. Even on the lower level, on your job, in your churches, in your synagogues, in your worship experience, taken over by devil worshipers. Some of y'all still following the entertainers. Most of them, I don't know all of them, most of them Luciferians, devil worshipers, Freemasons. Do y'all know what they have planned for us? Look, if it wasn't for the scriptures, which a lot of these guys are denying, because think about this. Think about this for a second. The guys who deny Yahushua and his divinity and what the Bible says about him, and the book of Revelation that calls him the Almighty, the Alpha and Omega, but they throw out, first they throw out Yahushua, then they throw out the New Testament that validates who he is, and the witnesses of the apostles, they do that, and guess what? Guess what else you don't have? Once you throw out the New Testament, you don't know what's happening now. You don't have the book of Revelation. You don't know about the mark of the beast. You don't know about the Antichrist. You don't know about the AI, which is the image of the beast that speaks and causes many not to worship it to be killed. You don't know nothing anymore because you didn't throw out the New Testament. Some of y'all crazy. Oh, well, Yacoba, we didn't throw out the New Testament. Some of us, we just don't worship the Son. Unless you believe that I am, you shall die in your sins. My Lord and my God. Y'all ignore all them scriptures. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father. If you've seen me, you've seen. Y'all want to act like them scriptures don't exist. We don't worship the Son. I'm glad that we have some diehard people who love Yahuwah, who love Yahushua, who love his word, who study the word for themselves. I'm glad we have supporters of this ministry who love the Most High, not part of no cliques and no stupidity. I'm glad we got people in here who have revelatory knowledge from the Holy Spirit. I'm glad that there's a remnant. People don't understand. We ain't got no time. Look, in my opinion, we don't have no time left. Period. Let's refresh this thing.
Sir. Okay. I'm a Christian, sir. I'm pure and virtuous and wholesome and innocent. How can you say anything bad about me?
Sir, you need to be born again.
I am born again.
Is that define Lucifer for me?
Pure, virtuous, wholesome, innocent individual that's out to help people.
Lucifer is?
Yeah.
Say that again. Lucifer is a pure, holy,
Virtuous.
virtuous. Now, is he the Lucifer that God created?
That's the same one.
Oh, man, this is great. I'm going to put this on the internet.
Oh,
Amen.
God bless you,
Amen.
brother.
Because that's exactly what the Shriners and Masons teach, is that Lucifer is light.
No.
And you're,
What
you're
about those
confirming it.
hospitals?
You know what, sir? Jesus said, many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, we did not do these good deeds in your name. And you'll say, away from me, you workers of iniquity. I never knew you. Have you ever been called worshipful master?
No, because I've just been too busy. I've been working.
Working.
Been working to help people.
What
like
kind
you.
of work? Okay. Get out of here.
These are the people who run the world. The world is run by Freemasonry. America is run by Freemasonry. Your congressmen and senators and your presidents are Freemasons. Don't get it twisted. They are devil worshipers. They worship Lucifer. Don't get it twisted. Some of your camp leaders are Freemasons. They worship Lucifer. Some of you Islam, Nation of Islam, your leaders worship Satan. They are Freemasons. Don't get it twisted. This world is under the control of Satan. People don't know what they're dealing with. And me? I'm exhausted. I know I don't have to be. But it's overwhelming for me sometimes. I see these things happening and I'm watching the falling away and I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm not fighting them battles no more. I'm not debating anybody. I got to look, I'm doing what I'm called to do. When Yahuwah asked Peter, Simon Peter, do you love me? Lord, you know I love you. Then feed my sheep. Second time, Simon Peter, do you love me? Lord, you know I love you. Then feed my sheep. Third time, Simon Peter. You know when the Most High say things 3 times, it's serious. Do you love me? Then feed my sheep. Do y'all love him? I love him. Don't get it twisted. If Yakoba the only one standing, I told y'all I'm not letting go of Yahushua. I'm not letting go. Y'all do you.
So from the theory that there's so many clones coming into Europe, right? That would mean there's even potentially clones in this room right now. There must be so many.
80% of the Caucasian population.
80% of the Caucasian population are clones.
Racist.
So it's not about racism. So also,
No, it's nothing to do with race.
is there any signs? Is there any signs that you could have a clone in your life, that you're in love with a clone? Like I know a lot of people say that they don't think, they don't have internal dialogue. Is there anything you've come across?
That's exactly what I was about to say. So Dolores Cannon did the work on this. So Benjamin Franklin also wrote about this, saying that there was a dire need to fill America with Caucasian people. So for whatever reason, they decided to do that. They say that there is no inner dialogue, and they called it whitewashing. But Dolores Cannon believed that 80% of the population that look like me can't trace their family tree back past really the 1800s with any accuracy, and we refer to them today as NPCs.
Wow.
She said they were soulless. I don't think anything living is soulless. I think we all have a connection. But it was called whitewashing, for want of a better expression. And it was to make out, and they did this at the World's Fairs and Expositions, they would have on display people from indigenous tribes, and they would bring children from Africa, put them on display, and they were labelled as primitive and savage.
Wow.
And this was specifically
Thank you.
to dumb down and remove history. And this is connected to the Moors from Africa, who built some of the most beautiful architecture in the world. They wanted everyone to consider them as primitive, and Tartaria was removed for a similar reason. So we would consider Moscow, Russia, to be behind, a little bit backward, and that was another part of it. So that's what happened. And what I'd suggest people do is watch the second film that Alice Guy produced, which is on YouTube. It's called Midwife to the Upper Classes, and you'll see an example there of where the middle class couple come to buy a baby.
So both of these videos we've shown in the past, in older videos, and what we have to understand is that things have been going on for a long time. Now, he said 80% of Caucasians are clones, and that they lack basically empathy. 20% aren't clones who are Caucasian, according to him. Now, it seems to me the 80% that are Caucasian that lacks empathy are the same ones that hung our ancestors from trees. It's the same ones that, fed our children. And the alligator bait is the same ones that, voted for Trump. It's the MAGAites. It's the ones who call them Christians. It's the ones who are part of white supremacy. They have a lack of empathy. It's the same ones who don't care about what's happening in the Middle East to, them people who are no longer in their own land. Well, some of y'all think that's our land, but it ain't. Even though we were there. If you notice, he also mentioned, I hope y'all paid attention. I hope y'all paid attention that he said that they were what? Did y'all give me a one if y'all caught when he called them NPCs? Did y'all catch that? Give me a one if you did, two if you didn't. Because I'm going somewhere today because this thing has been going on a long time. And we are in some serious doo-doo. And what they call technology, remember, I forgot who it was. If y'all remember who it was, put it in the chat. The guy said that, for the aliens, let's say that technology can be so advanced that it's indistinguishable from magic. Do y'all remember that? Who was that? I don't remember who that quote came from, but it's legit, right? And I think personally, the whole thing with, necromancy and what they call it, I forgot, alchemy and all of these things, right? All of this stuff been going on for a long time. And I was able to trace back that there were, cloning of animals in the early 1800s. I ran across something with that. Now, if what he said is true, that 80% are clones, which I'm not saying he's wrong, because I think it's highly probable, because even when we look at Charlie Kirk, right, he said that he has no empathy, right? Now, he also stated that they can't talk to themselves in their heads. I don't know if that's true. I mean, if we got some Gentiles out there who can't have inner conversations, he says that some can't have inner conversations. I don't know. But my question to you today is, as we move along in this study and this research, what group of people is behind the New World Order? And I'm not saying that all nations aren't involved, but who's the leaders of the New World Order? It's the NPCs, right? He called them NPCs. I didn't. Who are the ones that lack empathy, that go around bombing little mommies and daddies and little babies? Who are the ones in the Epstein files, because it ain't black folks, Who the ones are Freemasons, the leaders of Freemason, who say that they worship and follow Lucifer? It's mostly them folks and not us. If the shoe fit, wear it. If the shoe don't fit, I'm not talking about you. Maybe you the 20%. Maybe you the 20% humans. You know, if you got empathy, if you got compassion, if you don't hate the Ezra Alawi, then guess what? You probably in the 20%. We talked in the past about the Cabbage Patch Kids. If y'all don't know about the Cabbage Patch Kids, y'all need to go look at our videos. Understand, the things that they have told you in the movies have been legit at some level. We know that, right? It's called predictive programming. Yes, the orphan trains and stuff, we've talked about that. We got a video called Execute, it's Order 66. It's not on this channel, it's over at Odysee.com. We got a channel on Odysee. Some of y'all new here, y'all don't know about Order 66. Give me a 1 if y'all saw Order 66. Give me a 2 if you haven't. Because all of this stuff comes back full circle. And I'm going to tell y'all, like I said, today is my opinion like every other day. I don't claim to be Yahuwah. I don't claim to be a prophet. I just show y'all what I see. But I do recommend, if you haven't watched Order 66, go over to Odysee.com, go to Tell Ministries and watch it. Because we be dealing with some stuff. And we're going to see that it's worse than you think. Now, you know, some of y'all are going to see what I talk about today, and you're going to shoo it and say all things remain the same since the fathers fell asleep. Hashtag ain't no 400-year prophecy, all that kind of stuff, right? I'm telling you, in my opinion, because your Cobra can't have an opinion. It's just my opinion. I'm not a prophet, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, okay? Can we do that? Well, Jacoba, you said this, and you said, y'all don't listen to me. Y'all don't listen to me. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But understand this. We are dealing with people who have had some level of technology for a long time. Whether it be medical technology, right? How do you think they overthrew the Ezra Alawi? They got guns first. They got cannons first.
About the advancement from 5G to 6G. Listen closely to what he says.
So we're into 6G now. I just finished 5G. I was a leader on 5G, getting that done. And now they're up to 6.
Let's do it again.
What does that do? Give you a little bit deeper view into somebody's skin?
To see deeply into somebody's skin. Trump is not lying. But let's break this down, because here's where it gets interesting. Now, all these chemtrails that we see in the skies, you know, the chemtrails that they outright just show us, that they make, these chemtrails are filled with conductive metals like barium, aluminum, strontium, and graphene. When you breathe these into your body, these metals are now in your bloodstream. They are in you. Because this air is conductive, they have the ability to heat up the atmosphere. They have the ability to create extreme weather, because it's all directed energy. And because this air is conductive and it is tuned to your DNA, they can manipulate you. I don't think that's what people understand. This is a spiritual warfare. They're attacking your soul. Now I need you to realize that you are in their energy grid system. The chemtrails are a part of their energy grid system. Their conductive metals that are in the air responds to the towers. And that same ionized air is in you, which means they now have power to your nervous system. They have the power to alter with your genetic life code, your DNA. These AI towers will literally be able to see you as a bioelectric silhouette because you are in their energy grid system. Does that make sense? These AI towers will have the ability to pinpoint your ass. Now, enough of the fear. How do you prevent this?
All right, so I agree with him on some things, not everything. I agree with him that they will be able to find you anywhere. You're not going to be able to hide. And I do believe that those who may have eaten a lollipop may be at risk, maybe, from the technology, right? Send commands, send signals. Okay. So as we look at this, he mentioned 6G. Now we're going to talk about 6G because it's really important with what was happening today, right? So I think a lot of people don't realize what's happening, obviously. And so if you've gone to the airport, right, because he mentioned 6G, 6G is part of the technology. And I'm going to show you these charts that I put together of what I think is happening in the timeline of it biblically and based upon their calendar, right? So give me a one if any of you have ever gone to the airport and gone through the new scanners, right? I think we all, if you've flown for the last few years, have gone through those scanners, right?
The purchase and implementation of the new scanners at each of our Level 5 facilities is yet another tool in our toolbox, aimed at making our prisons safe for staff, contractors, visitors, and offenders. The scanners, coupled with our very robust security camera system throughout James T. Vaughan and our other Level 5 facilities, our canine detection program, our cell phone detection technology, which you see here today, stringent mailroom search protocols, and our new Intelligence Operations Center, which opened a couple of weeks ago, gives us the ability to quickly and successfully interdict contraband before it ever gets into our facilities. Whether it's drug contraband, dangerous weapons, or devices that could aid in an escape or defeat security systems, they all present significant safety and security issues for our staff and offenders. This technology will greatly aid us in our overall proactive efforts in identifying and prosecuting those who may try to introduce illegal contraband into our prisons.
Millimeter wave, it basically screens through the clothing to determine if there's something there of higher density than what should be. This right here is basically the image. It's almost cartoon-like. It's either green for a pass, which means we did not detect any contraband, that individual can safely enter the facility, versus a gray image, which would have red indicator marks on it. It would show where the contraband is, which would allow our pat-down officer to further determine what was there by screening those areas as opposed to a full head-to-toe pat-down. Millimeter.
All right, so do y'all remember the movie Total Recall? Right, and they pretty much was showing you this technology, right? This scanner with the millimeter waves. Now, one of the interesting things is that and I know people gonna be like, well, what does this have to do with anything, right? This is security. This is for our protection, blah, 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 blah. It's not for that, right? It's for many things, right? It can be used for security, to see what you have on your body, right? To see if you're carrying a gun, if you have all these things, right? But it's also to scan you to see if you have, any of the, how do I phrase this? Little things that be crawling around that's intelligent in your body, right? And it also can check your, health status and many different things, right? They don't tell you this about the technology. Now, the reason why I show this particular thing about the scanners in the airport is because this is what 6G is, right? Because if you listen, it is millimeter wave technology. That's what that scanner is. And guess what? They don't tell you this. 6G is also millimeter wave technology. The same technology, is just that you're not in the box. So if that's the case, then what's the purpose of it? Well, let's look at this.
In previous episodes I have shown how the wireless signals at millimeter wave frequencies are transmitted very directionally and doesn't propagate well through various kinds of materials. And that means that millimeter wave systems are mainly for line of sight usage. However, there is a new kind of hardware known as Reconfigurable Intelligent Surfaces, or RIS, that can be used as an intelligent mirrors to reflect millimeter wave signals around corners. In this video, I will show you theoretically and experimentally how RIS can be used to extend the coverage of a millimeter wave system.
Our goal is to control how a wireless signal is reflected between a transmitter and the receiver. So therefore we will take a first look at how normal reflection of signals are happening. So this is a transmitter that sends out a wireless signal. And it will propagate in all directions. In particular, it will go towards the left here. And let's consider that there is a big reflecting flat object over here. To understand where the wireless signal is going after the reflection, we can first draw the so-called normal, which is a perpendicular line to the reflecting surface, and measure the incoming angle here, which is called theta. The outgoing angle is the same, but on the other side of this normal, so we can say that it's plus theta and minus theta, and therefore the reflected signal is going straight down in this picture. This is known as Snell's law, which is saying that the incident angle and the outgoing angle are the same, but on the other side of the normal. Suppose now that there is a user device that would like to receive the signal, but there is a blocking object that makes it impossible for the signal to go directly from the transmitter to the receiver. Therefore, it is having a bad coverage. We can also see that the reflected signal is going straight down, so it is not reaching the device either. And this is all determined by how the reflected surface looks like. So if you would rotate the reflected surface a little bit, then the normal direction will be different. The incident angle, called theta2 now, will be different, and therefore the reflection angle minus theta2 would also be different. So now the reflected signal is going straight down towards the user device, which can now experience a good coverage instead. So we notice that there is a particular rotation of the surface that is preferable to provide.
So we're not going to go into the details of this, but think of this technology this way, that we know we have a bunch of cell towers all around the place, right? So we have a cell tower here, cell tower here, cell tower here, cell tower. You don't really have to worry about line of sight because you have so many cell towers that you can bounce back and forth. Now, as we know, it can send a communication signal to a cell phone or whatever device, right? Wirelessly. Also, remember, like I said, it is millimeter wave technology, which is similar to what you have in the airport, right? And so you can also scan people. So think of this, right? The Bible tells us about the mark of the beast and this totalitarian system where no man can buy, trade, or sell unless you have the mark his name or the number of his name, right? You won't be able to hide. Okay. And, so if you think you're going to be living off grid, you're going to be living in the wilderness somewhere in America, like some of these black folks have done in Atlanta and other places, building their own communities, they're screwed, right? Because you're not going to be able to hide from the technology. You're not going to be able to hide in the woods. You're not going to be able to hide underground. You're not going to be able to go anywhere. Why? Because it is a semi-omnipresence type technology, right? And they're trying to become godlike. And so this is what we're dealing with, and it's here already, and it's being put out by the powers that be today. And so I'm going to show y'all what I believe, is going to happen, and, eat the meat, spit out the bones. And we're going to look at some more technology and some more videos to see what's happening. Because look, if you understand the scriptures and you understand what's happening, in the world and in America more specifically, like I say, I don't like coming with bad news, but I got to do what I got to do right now. I know the Most High going to show up, right? He said he is. He says he's not going to leave us nor forsake us, but you have to understand what you're dealing with. This is the end time. This is Revelation 12. This is Revelation 13 on the horizon, right? We are here. And some people will tell you we're not. Fine. You want to believe that? That's cool. But understand what we're dealing with here is Revelation 12 going into Revelation 13, right? And I'm going to show you what I think is going to be happening. And we're going to look at some other stuff because I built out this timeline, okay? Okay, so I hope y'all can see this, right? So this Revelation 12, Revelation 13 timeline map, wilderness period, beast system build out, 6G timeline, and mark of the beast functionality. So just so you understand, 6G is estimated to be complete by 2030. The data centers are estimated to be complete by 2030. We have the whole agenda 2030. We have the rollout of AI 2030. We are looking at these phases. So 2024 to 25, we had the infrastructure, technology, legal frameworks accelerate, right? 2025, systems integration, public adoption increases. Now, remember, Americans had to be softened up through COVID, right? And, they had to be, told what to do and controlled why. So you could be ready for this new rollout. So the transition phase is now 2026. Control mechanisms tighten, pressure increases. So we're even seeing this around the world, and we're seeing it in the UK, which is the rollout of digital ID is coming here as well, right? Now, based upon Yacoba's understanding, based upon what we're seeing in the scriptures, based upon what we're seeing happening with their 2030, 2031 agenda, 2027 is, and I'm not saying I'm right, okay? Just my opinion. 2027, wilderness begins. Now, is it the beginning of 2027 or the end of 2027? I would say the mid to end of 2027, going into 2028 will be the wilderness. Why is that? Because they're coming for us. I know it sounds doom and gloom, but it is. I'm gonna show y'all what's happening. Our people don't follow stuff. Our people don't even know the scripture. So we have the wilderness phase. Now, family, how long, for my educated family out there, how long is the Ezra Alawi supposed to be in the wilderness? How long? I know y'all know. Anybody who be on this channel know how long we are supposed to be in the wilderness. Let's see. How long we supposed to be in the wilderness, family? 3.5 years. Thank you. Now, my other question is, family, how long is the beast kingdom supposed to rule? Say, make sure you type it in, beast kingdom in the number. How long is the beast kingdom supposed to rule? Type in beast and the number. So I know you're making a differentiation there. So the beast is supposed to rule for 3.5 years as well. Yep. Beast 3.5 years. So Israel is going into the wilderness to be saved from the beast or the dragon for 3.5 years. The beast system rules for 3.5 years. If we look at it, okay, we have 1,260 days, 3.5 years wilderness phase, right? The beast kingdom is at the same time, 3.5 years that we're in the wilderness protected from this system. Now, according to their timeline, I'm talking about the Luciferians and the Freemasons. According to their timeline, all of this has to be done by 2030, 2031. Now, if that's the case, if what I'm saying is accurate, and we're supposed to be in the wilderness for 3.5 years, and the B system is on the horizon. And their deadline for the full implementation of the B system is 2030, 2031. Then that means we got to be leaving somewhere in 2027. Yes or no? I mean, logically speaking, yes or no? If their deadline for the full implementation of the B system is 2030, and we know that the woman is in the wilderness protected from the beast for 3.5 years, the beast rules during that same 3.5 years that we're protected, that means we have to be out of here sometime in 2027. Maybe the early part, middle part, or the tail end of 2027. But I'm just saying, logically speaking. So by 2031, we will have full control phase, system fully operational, B system fully operational. No one can buy, trade, or sell, right? So the technology is being built out, right? We had in 2025, we had the digital ID pilots, the CBDC research, 6G research, all of, AI expansion, all that. 2026, digital ID rollout, right? Some places are rolling out the digital ID. CBDC pilots are expanding, right? Control of money, Internet of Things, smart city expansion, AI regulation frameworks, data centers scale rapidly, right? That's what's happening now. Biometric databases. Like I said, data centers supposed to be complete by what? Fully complete 2030. 6G has to be what? Fully complete 2030. That means the full market of beast implementation is available or set at 2030. So what we can expect towards the end of this year, going into 2027, digital ID becomes mainstream. We already seen that in the UK. They're talking about it, right? CBDC infrastructure being built. They're already doing that. I hope y'all know. They don't call it CBDC. They call it stable coins. Now, this is interesting here, which is W-band and wearable health systems adopted widely. So here's what you're going to hear more things talking about, which is what they call wide body area networks. It's like a WAN, wide area network. It's a wide body area network. Basically, your body tells the system, the data centers, the AI, where you're at all the time, right? Those watches y'all be wearing to track your pulse and your walking. Right? Those are going to be mandatory, right? Same thing with your phone, right? Those you're already carrying the cell phone everywhere you go. All of these things are going to be tied to your body and they're going to get metrics off of you. It's already happening. They're already using predictive AI, 6G. Trump says 6G, right? He said it can see under your skin. Legal frameworks for controlling it. So Trump said that 6G, that technology that can see under your skin. Right? Y'all heard it, right? Do I have to play the video again? So the fact that 6G can see under your skin, right? That's his limited understanding of what the technology does. But it does more than that. It allows also for communication. So let's assume theoretically, because I don't know, it's all theoretical, right? It's all for fun. This is for entertainment purposes only, YouTube. This is only for entertainment purposes. If 6G can see in, just like we saw in the airports, right, with the millimeter wave technology, it also is tied to what? Cell phone. It can communicate with you, which means it can also communicate with them nanobots that's inside your body. "2028, persecution increases, economic pressure intensifies, monitoring becomes constant, remnant begins to separate, places of wilderness refuge prepared. All total awareness expands. Why? Because 6G is expanding. Social credit systems are active. Travel restrictions increase. Communication control, faith and speech restrictions enforced. Going into 29 and 2030, system test full economic control. Blacklists and behavior scoring become normal. Many lose access to buying and selling. Remnant lives outside the system by faith. 2030, 6G networks fully operational. CBDC or digital, any kind of digital, stablecoins, whatever, becomes primary, only money in many regions. Now, I'm going to show y'all something today that shows you that we're already moving this way really fast. We're moving here really fast. Mark of the beast system, fully functional. No buying and selling without the mark. Global system, unified. 2031, full economic control worldwide. All systems integrated. Movement tracked always. Health, speech, beliefs monitored. Eternal separation of sheep and goats. All right, so the 6G, remember, 2024-25 was research and standardization. 2026 was early 6G trials and infrastructure. 2027 to 2029 is 6G expansion, and they're doing that now. Integration with AI, Internet of Things, wide body area networks, and smart cities. 2030, 6G fully operational. So 6G is like the network in the Borg, right? How the Borg had this network that they were able to communicate. I told y'all they want to Borgify you. It's not going to be identical. Mark of the Beast progression, concept and development technology exists. 2024-25. 25-26, early development, voluntary adoption, policy incentives like the ones in Switzerland who got the chip in their hand. 2027, becoming necessary, job, travel, banking. So next year, you're going to have your digital ID. Next year, you're going to have your digital ID to travel, banking, services, to get any kind of services. 2027 to 2029, increasing pressure, system tightens. Warning, restrictions, limitations, exclusion. 2030, full functionality. Now, based upon their timeline and the fact that we go in the wilderness for 3.5 years, the B system rules for 3.5 years, all of this lines up. All of it lines up. So key prophetic events, rise of global systems and technology, convergence, increase of knowledge and travel. Dragon prepares war against the woman, which is happening already, right, with Trump. Woman taken into the wilderness, 3.5 years in the wilderness, beast authority given 42 months, final judgment after beast system. Now, you can think it's coincidence if you want, but what we're seeing is obviously the beast system, and it's moving fast. It's being built up fast. So we have the control grid, which is data centers, right? They're building that everywhere. Did y'all know they already have 4,000 data centers around the U.S.? I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. They already have 4,000 data centers around the U.S. The control grid, data centers, AI, 6G, and tracking arrays. So all of this is going to be monitored and tracked. You're a slave, Neo. So we can look at the increase of the gigawatts for the uses as the years go by. So 2027, 130 gigawatts, 2028, 165, so forth. AI integration, data ingestion, data processing, AI models, digital twins. Now we're going to talk about digital twins. That's interesting because you're in the game. You're in the game. You're an NPC. At least that's the way they think of you. Digital twins, decision engines, all orchestration, automated decisions, risk scoring, threat detection, action layer, feedback loop, controlled assets, drones. This is what the data centers are for. Some people were saying, oh, I think the data centers are portals. They're not portals. They're control centers. They're the brain hub. They're a sentinel. Controlled assets. Drones will be controlled. Agents. Humans will be controlled. Robots and automation. Infrastructure. Population. Movement will be controlled and restricted. How the system controls identity, It got to authenticate you and authorize you. Just like when you log into a website, it has to locate you where you're at, analyze you, predict. That's what AI does. Predict. It gets to know you. Decide, act, and monitor. Outcome, full spectrum control. No one can hide. Seen everywhere. 6G. Millimeter wave technology, just like the airport scanners. No one can escape. Tracked in real time. No one can disobey. Choices are removed. No one can communicate without being known. Total control of drones, agents, infrastructure, and human population by 2030. Oh, Jacobo, well, I don't think that's going to happen. Okay. That's fine. You do you. Now, the elite has a path to immortality. Neuralink, AI integration, and longevity. Men shall seek death, and death shall flee from them. Revelation 9:6. I'm going to pause right there. We're going to come back to this slide and talk about the elite's path to immortality, because I'm explaining something to you. If you listen to people like Elon Musk and the things that they're saying and, what's supposedly really happening with the technology, it's more than what they're saying, right? It's more than what they're telling you. They give you little pieces, okay? Little pieces of truth when they plan to enslave you. Look, don't get it twisted. I know what I'm doing today is a threat. I know it's risky for me. Here's the thing. Either the Most High gonna save me and save us, or we go see him face to face. You got children, you got wives, you got mothers, you got fathers. You either stand against it or you get consumed when it comes. You're going to go along with the herd. You either resist or you're going to go along with the herd. I'm not going along with the herd.
Honest, of all the things you do and all the companies you run, I think it's all awesome. The one thing that does concern me, and I know concerns a lot of people out there, so I do have to bring it up, which is Neuralink.
Sure.
So firstly, can you explain what Neuralink is and what the goal of it is?
We put a chip in your brain to control your mind. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Concerns not alleviated.
Yeah, there you go. Jump right in. Step right up. Who wants one? No, so
I hope y'all don't think he was joking. That's what it's for. But I'm going to explain something to you as we listen a little bit to this particular Freemason, neuro-order globalist. I'm sure he's a Luciferian.
So Neuralink, you'll be able to see Neuralink coming from a very long distance, because any device that you implant in a human you have to go through so many tests.
Oh, and just to let you all know, if something happens, I'm streaming over at Rumble as well. Okay.
It moves very slowly. You just do a few people at a time, and then you go to extreme lengths to prove safety. You have to go through the FDA approvals. Like, we're not trying to sidestep any, regulatory approvals. We're doing everything, by the book and with maximum. We're going far beyond what the requirements are of the FDA from a safety standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And the initial devices will really just be pretty basic. It'll be about restoring functionality to people who've lost their connection between their brain and their body. So you can imagine, like, if, say, Stephen Hawking could talk or communicate as fast as somebody with a fully functioning body.
Mm-hmm.
That would be amazing. So that's like what we're trying to do. That's our first application, is to restore functionality to quadriplegics, tetraplegics. And
that's the first application. Why? Because that is the socially acceptable application. Now, here's the thing what most people don't get. In their minds, right, they believe that they could become a god. In their minds, that Neuralink is for them. Not just them, mind you, but mainly for them. Neuralink is for the elite so that they can be globally aware, have this fake omniscience, trying to be like the Most High, trying to become all powerful, all knowing, godlike. This is the purpose of it. Now, there's going to be, just like you see in Hollywood, some of the lower class people, like some of the entertainers, some of them black folks y'all love so much, who's going to get the implant as well, because they're going to be allowed to be the mid-level, like they are today, influencer for those who are still here and not deleted. But for the most part, the implants, because the average person don't want nothing in their head. The average person don't want nothing in their head, but the Freemasons do. The Freemasons are pursuing, as I showed you in the other show, the singularity. The Freemasons are pursuing godhood. They are finishing what they call the great work.
And people who've just, for whatever reason, no longer have a connection between, or a limited connection between their brain and their body.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second application would be restoration of eyesight. So if somebody's gone completely blind, maybe even just lost the optic nerve, you can actually still directly stimulate the neurons in the visual part of the cortex. So you can give people direct vision to the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, you could actually, depending upon what cameras you use, you can actually see in different wavelengths.
Okay.
You know, like Geordie LaForge from, like, you know, you could like have that, like, I actually watched like an episode of Star Trek Next Generation with special effects compared to what we're used to, are like, you know, not that great, but he's got like the wraparound, you know, glasses, and you can see in different wavelengths. So you can see like ultraviolet, you know, infrared, and that kind of thing. So you can actually do that. You could say like,
don't get it twisted. This technology is going to drive them mad, and anybody who takes it is going to drive them mad, because humans aren't designed for that. Everything is Luciferic. Everything is demonic. Everything is darkness. Darkness covers the land and grows darkness to people. It is awful. It amazes me that some of our people can't see what's happening.
you could see in radar if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what's the long term goal for it? Because I think myself and others, I think the first part sounds fine. Sounds
yeah,
good.
that's like hard to argue with. You know?
Yeah. But long term, I think the concern that people have is this just leading us into this dystopian transhumanist future? Where does it go? What are the ethical boundaries of it?
Well, I mean, the thing I wanted to emphasize is that it's not going to like sort of pounce on us overnight.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see it coming. It's going to be very slow. In fact, I really think that artificial general intelligence or digital superintelligence is likely to arrive before we have really advanced neural links. At least that's where the trend is right now.
I'll be honest.
Notice he says that this whole technology, right, is going to be used, right, for health reasons, right, for eyesight, and if you got some kind of disability. But he never told you that it's not going to be used for transhumanism, right? He didn't answer that question. He didn't answer that question about transhumanists. Why? Because he's a transhumanist. Because Elon Musk stated himself, give me one if you heard it, not in this show, but Elon Musk has said that in order for humanity to survive, it has to merge with machine. It has to merge with AI, because AI is too advanced. And if we don't merge with AI, AI will take over and rule us. Give me a 1 if you remember him saying that, a 2 if you didn't, because he did.
A new brain chip developed by one of Elon Musk's companies is being described as a game changer. The chip is being trialled internationally and allows patients to control and manipulate laptops and other devices with the power of their mind.
Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos. What do they have in common besides being billionaires?
Notice, Neuralink allows you to interface with AI and with the computer so you can make, do anything like sort of like what the agents do, right? The current AI agents wirelessly. This is transhumanism. This is Satanism. When I tell you it's an emergency alert, it is. In my opinion, there's not much time left at all. At all. We're at the closing of the door.
A race to the finish line. And who are the targets? Us. Neuralink was approved for mass production this year in 2026 after the 21 participant human trial. However, the goal is to get at least 1 million people by 2030, and that's only 6 years away. During the trial, some of the things that were revealed were brain bleeds, brain scarring, signal loss, battery safety issues, and that's just to name a few. But I implore you to think deeper. This is a device implanted into your brain, and you're not thinking about the possibility of invading your privacy, your thoughts, or it being hacked. You have
Not only that, it's going to take away your free will. You're going to be an NPC. You're going to be an NPC. That's all you're going to be. You're going to be no different than an agent that runs on your computer. You're not going to be any different than an agent that runs in a video game. Don't let these people fool you. Look, your mores, your camp leaders, your pastors are going to do the same thing they did back in 2020. Oh, it's okay. Y'all need to eat a lollipop. They're going to do the same thing.
have to remember that this device is possibly connected to the internet. And when it's connected to the internet, it has to be backed up to servers. Now, once it's backed up to servers, the servers save the snapshots or the information that is pulled from your device. Now, the real question comes down to who's going to own that information and what they're going to do with it. But do we really believe that they're trying to enhance humanity, or are they trying to own our thoughts? And if you didn't know, Neuralink actually has patents for telepathy and telekinesis.
Now, Neuralink has patents for telepathy and telekinesis. Why? Because with 6G, you have artificial telepathy, artificial telekinesis. The way that you're going to communicate and move things is going to be through Wi-Fi. It sucks.
As we advance the Neuralink devices, you.
All right, so let's move on.
I think some kind of brain machine interface that can give you cybernetic superpowers, I think, is probably good.
A brain interface that gives you cybernetic superpowers. I thought it was just for people who have injuries, people who have brain injuries, people who can't see. I mean, what's with the superpowers? See, it's transhumanism. This is Luciferianism. God knows the day that you eat from the fruit thereof, you shall be like God. This is what the lie is. This is what they're believing. This is what they're following. It sucks.
It could, help people that have brain or spine injuries. Restore, enable people who've never spoken for years to speak again, which we've done. Give people eyesight who have lost both eyes of the optic.
We can rebuild him. We have the technology. What y'all think the Bionic Man was? Conditioning, transhumanism.
Or maybe have never even seen at all, blind from birth. By direct interface to the optical centers in the brain, you can actually restore eyesight or give people eyesight that they've never had before. And you can enable people to walk again, which I think is profound. I mean, these are kind of Jesus level things, like, let's say like when tech.
Jesus level things. Jesus level things. That's what he said. Now, okay. Now, y'all know my position right now, who I believe the Antichrist is. I think he's the best candidate so far. Y'all know who it is. This is who I think the false prophet is. He calls it all, both rich and poor, free and bond, and receive a mark in their right hand and forehead that they might not buy, trade, or sell unless they had the mark, his name, and number of his name. He creates an image of the beast that caused those who don't worship the image to be killed. The false prophet is a false messenger. The false prophet is promoting a different kingdom.
Technologies are hitting like Jesus level miracles. Like that's pretty good. I think some kind of brain machine interface.
Jesus level miracles.
Neuralink has successfully implanted a wireless brain chip in a human, a first in the field. The implant has shown good results in neuron activity, and the patient is recovering well. It aims to link the human brain to computers targeting complex neurological disorders. Following FDA approval in May, this experiment is part of a longer 6-year study. The procedure involves placing threads onto the brain parts responsible for movement. These threads allow the implant to record and transmit brain signals. Musk announced on social media platform X that Neuralink's first product, telepathy, would enable users to control devices through initially focusing on paralysis. He aspires for the technology to enable communication at unprecedented speeds, as exemplified by the potential for someone like the late Stephen Hawking.
Y'all remember the movie The Lawnmower Man? He became godlike. That's what they want.
Neuralink has successfully implanted a wireless brain chip in a human.
And actually, my prediction is in the benign scenario of the future that the robots will actually make so many robots and AI that they will actually saturate all human needs. Meaning you won't be able to even think of something to ask the robot for at a certain point. Like there will be such an abundance of goods and services because my prediction is that there'll be more robots than people. So,
but how do you then have human purpose in that scenario?
Yeah, I mean, nothing's perfect, but
they don't plan on most of us being here.
It is a necessary. Like you can't have both. You can't have work that has to be done and amazing abundance for all.
And then the big political and economic question of the 21st century will be, what do we need humans for? Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
Do you have an answer in the book?
At present, the best guess we have is keep them happy with drugs and computer games.
And we call this the metaverse.
What you guys do in here?
Pretty much everything that you would do in the real world.
Or at least, what do we need so many humans for? Would constitute a new useless class. When I say that these are useless humans, it's not from the viewpoint of the mother, of the wife, of the son. Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
First, we've got population. Now, the world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
Forget the conspiracy. Listen to our government agencies. These guys are telling the truth. There's no conspiracy here, folks. Just get your damn vaccine.
All right. Thank you, doctor. And actually, my prediction is in the benign scenario of the future that the robots will actually make so many robots and AI that they will actually saturate all human.
So once again, the whole 3.5 years time frame.
A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So, he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusions. By thoughts, I mean specifically chatter in the skull, perpetual and compulsive repetition of words, of reckoning and calculating. I'm not saying that thinking is bad. Like everything else, it's useful in moderation. A good servant, but a bad master. And all so-called civilized peoples have increasingly become crazy and self-destructive because through excessive thinking they have lost touch with reality. That's to say, we confuse science with the real world.
So just to let y'all know, if, you know, I get hit for copyright stuff because of the freaking music and all that kind of stuff, you know, y'all can also go over to Rumble, right? Because the odds are I'll probably get hit for something, but, you know, to be honest with you, you know, I think, you know, just my opinion, eat the meat, spit out the bones. I think this is the last year that I'm going to be doing this, right? Could be the last month or two, the way things are going.
This shit look like? Do you see what this is? Look, Bill Gates, aka Microsoft, is putting in their AI data centers in our oceans right now, as we speak. Listen.
The math is simple. Without water, the AI servers die. If we tokenize the supply now, we control the next century. Trump understands this. The USWR is what makes the most sense.
Look how much water they use annually, bro. I told y'all that they came out with something called USWR, United States Water Reserve, because our water supply is about to be destroyed. This is our chance to, one, get into what the billionaires are buying up right now.
So what they're going to do is they're going to end up tokenizing water, food, everything else, right? So that's what we got to understand, that it's happening now, right? It's not tomorrow. Now, as I stated, we're dealing with them trying to become immortal, right? So we have these technology milestones, Neuralink trials, right? Expanded, right? From 2024 to 25, AI models become multimodal, quantum computing advances, right? 6G, 7G infrastructures built out, high density. All right, 2026 to 27, acceleration, Neuralink version 2 with higher bandwidth, AI personal assistants, ubiquitous, edge AI in the body area network. That's wideband, right? Full digital twins for the elite and secure brain computer links. Convergence, elite adoption, 2028 to 29. Neuralink, bidirectional full cortex. AI agents manage daily life. AI predictive modeling of biology. Early AGI systems online. AGI is already here, according to Elon Musk. Global brain data network. Transhumanist era, 2030 to 2032. Direct brain to AI, symbiosis, AI co-processors implanted, collective intelligence networks, autonomous decision overlays, neural cloud backup available, 2033 plus post-human elite, full AI integration, mind uploading, early stage, synthetic body options, consciousness, persistence, and debt becomes optional. Men shall seek debt, and debt shall flee from them. Revelation 9:6. All right. So you can go through all of these and see that we're on schedule for this, right? It is moving this fast. It is moving this fast. I would say at least around November during the elections and into 2027 is going to be an increase in oppression and persecution, a lack of resources, a lack of water, a lack of electricity, chaos. I mean, all that, right? So we, you know, as we stated, you know, this whole data grid, because we saw the data centers, right? That all of this has to be in place, and they're already, you know, like I said, I didn't even know America had 4,000 data grids. But all of this is being put in place at the same time. And you can tell that the timeline is the Agenda 2030 timeline. So then after that, what do we have? The Revelation timeline, fallen angels, aliens, and the Great Deception, right? So we're going through all of these things, right? The wars, rumors of wars, the economic crisis, natural disasters, right? So 2027 wilderness begins. That's my opinion. 2028 to 2030, wilderness protection and preparation of the remnant, right? Secret space programs exposed, non-human technology leaks, governments prepare the world, mass sightings increase, contact begins, fallen agenda revealed, one world religion forms around higher beings, miracles, signs, and wonders. 2031, image of the beast revealed. Revelation of the counterfeit. 2032, beast system fully active. 2033, great tribulation intensifies. According to the scripture, the beast is in power for 3.5 years, but then the 10 takes over. We're here somewhere after 3.5 years, we go into Zion.
This is where I fill up water for storage. Those are the things we have to fill up to flush the toilets.
So you can see the sediment from the data center. Wow, and that's just from the water coming out of your faucet.
Yeah, and this is what's in all the pipes.
So that is the dark side of living near one of the 4,000 data centers in this country. Did you have any idea there were that many? A data center, which is essentially a giant warehouse with millions of servers. And every time you Google something, your device sends a signal to a data center, and in nanoseconds, your device gets a response back. But with demand growing for AI, demand's also growing for these data centers, which are absolutely enormous. One in Texas called Project Matador is as big as 15 Disneylands and uses as much power as the state of Colorado requires every year. It also uses over 1 billion gallons of water per year. And the public, as always, have been basically kept in the dark by companies like Meta and Amazon, who claim they're creating jobs. But what the rest of the media are not talking about is what life is like for people who have homes near these data centers. Water restrictions, no water, higher energy bills, and unbelievable noise. In Georgia, one data center used 30 million gallons of water, leaving residents without any water. In Utah, a data center that's currently under construction is going to require more energy than the entire state of Utah times 2 annually. And after years of climate nonsense and hysteria, apparently billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg don't care about the climate anymore, because a single data center can generate the same amount of heat as 23 atomic bombs being dropped daily.
So the question would be, why are they doing this? If they're affecting the water supply, which is fresh water, right? They're affecting people's quality of life. They're using up more electricity than humanity really needs, right? Which means that there's going to be less for us. There's going to be less water for us. There's going to be less electricity for us. Why? Why are they doing this? Well, the reason they're doing it is because these are your overlords. AI is your overlords. The robots are your overlords. They these data centers are going to be hubs, right? It's going to be sentinels. That's what they're setting us up for, right? So the Bible talks about signs and wonders. That there's signs and wonders. What kind of signs? What kind of wonders? Right? We always thought it was going to be like what we see with Moses in them. But do you know that the Greek word for signs is semeion, meaning a sign, a mark, a token? Isn't that interesting? A token. How do they manage the tracking of all people and devices? Tokens, tokenization. Understand that what they have planned is total control. And the networks, the 6G, 7G networks, is blanketing the planet. They plan on controlling everyone. The network is going to know where you are, who you're with, whether you are connected. You're going to have to be connected to the system, to the network, in order to participate in society, aka mark of the beast. This omniscience of 6G technology is artificial, godlike omnipresence, right? So these data centers host an AI. You could call it Sentinel, right? Y'all remember, some of y'all probably don't because, y'all don't read comic books or watch cartoons. But if y'all used to watch the X-Men, give me one if you used to watch the X-Men. Y'all remember the Sentinels? And you had that major head, that major Sentinel. That's what they got planned. Now, the Sentinel, or the hub, or the brain, maintains what we call a digital twin. You saw that in the grid, in the chart that I have. So it maintains a twin, digital twin. What do I mean by digital twin? It's a copy of everything that's tokenized. It's a copy that they're tracking. It's a copy of animals. It's a copy of your car. It's a copy of you. And by having a digital twin of you, they can track your travel patterns or predict. They can track and predict your purchases, track and predict relationships. There's not going to be any cash. We're already here.
In the past 30 days, read everything I can about Anthropic, and I've come up with a new theory. New breaking theory. The reason I call this the Dr. Frankenstein theory is the more I dig, I've met people who I dare say think it's their responsibility and they're excited about building a species that's superior to humans. And I would just encourage people to read, as much as they can about Anthropic. Chris Olah worked on this thing called the Constitution. It's about 80 pages. It's hard to get through, but I would encourage you to read it. Amanda Askill, who is the chief philosopher, has started doing podcasts. I would encourage you to listen to them and listen to her language. And then Dario wrote this blog post called Machines of Loving Grace.
Loving Grace. Yeah,
yes.
I read it.
And it was based on a poem. And the poem is kind of weird. We should put a link to the poem. It's quite short. But the last stanza of the poem says, I like to think of a cybernetic ecology where we are free of our labors and joined back to nature, return to our mammal brothers and sisters. I don't know what that means. Like we're going to go live in the fields where the mammals live. And then the kicker, and all watched over by machines of loving grace. Sounds like Overlord to me. And then in Dario's post, he says near the end, and it's very long. You read it, Jamal. I mean, Machines of Loving Grace is very long, but he's talking about in the future, what are humans going to do? Because he believes in the massive abundance and UBI and that we won't have to work. I don't believe in any of those things, but he does. And then he says, it could be a capitalist economy of AI systems, which then give out resources to humans based on some secondary economy of what the AI systems think makes sense to reward in humans. So that's envisioning a deity of sorts that's going to break ties and decide what humans get.
It's a computational reward function for humans. It decides how much you're worth.
Yeah, so I don't think they think they're writing software. I think they're midwifing a deity here. And I don't know which one I'm more afraid of, the regulatory capture Or the second theory I call the Dr. Frankenstein.
So they want AI to be a deity. Remember, some of you all been around long enough that I showed you a video of a Revelation 2:9 person, and they said that those people, the Revelation 2:9, that they were creating a AI God. Y'all remember that? When I tell you there's no time left, I'm serious. Look at where the technology is. The pace of the technology alone tells you that there's no time left. Now, my question to you is this. All the haters still not going to flee? You ain't going to have no water. They're using up all the water. You're not going to have any electricity. They got war in the Middle East. Don't have no oil. Look what's happening to Cuba. No lights. But you're not going to flee. Good luck.
Experience with it. It isn't something that's happening in the future. It's something that's happening now. I rented a car in Europe, and as the woman handed me the car keys, she said, this is a brand new car. And she was like super excited about it. She was like, it's 2026. And I was like, awesome. No one's had a chance to like fart or smoke in it. This will be great. And I'd driven it for a day or two, and I was getting on a highway. It was a 6-lane highway. And all of a sudden the gas stopped working, and I'm pressing on the gas. I can't get the car to go. So the car is dinging. It's making all this noise, and I can't figure out what's going on. And I look at the dashboard, and in English, it says, sit up straight, we can't find your eyes. Why do you need to see my eyes? That was my first thought. And I'm short, so I sit low in the seat, and I guess, I don't know, maybe I'd been driving a while and I'd kind of slouch down more instead of sitting upright. And when I sat upright, the gas would work once again. And so I pressed the gas, but I was slowing down enough that it was going to cause a traffic hazard. And the thing is, it knew I wasn't asleep because I was pressing on the gas. So it knew I was awake. It just wanted to see my eyes. So once I sat upright and leaned forward, I guess it did facial recognition. And then it says, may I send you these results to a third party? To which I said, no, you may not. No. Who is the third party? Who, first of all, who's watching me drive the car to begin with? Secondly, who is the third party you're sending it to?
You're a slave, Neo.
A virtual representation of an object or a system. Like me, digital twins are updated with real-time data which can be used for machine learning and reasoning to make better decisions. Disturbing, but yes. And what can we do with a digital twin? Let's get into it. Well, that was odd. Digital twins are usually objects like wind turbines, and they're fitted with various sensors, and those sensors capture data and different aspects of the physical object performance, like in this case, energy output and temperature. And that live data is applied to the digital copy of the wind turbine, its digital twin. From there, we can study all sorts of potential situations, analyze performance problems, and create potential enhancements that can be used to improve the real-life physical object.
Now think of this, the woman who was driving the car and the car was looking at her eyes and doing facial recognition, right? On their end, right? In AI, when they're processing, there's a digital twin. There's a twin of her that AI is looking at and monitoring, not just her eyes. It's monitoring other things about her physiology. Don't get it twisted. We're already here. They're already taking away your rights. You're already being managed by AI. Especially you get the new cars, the new technology, the Ray-Bans and all of that foolishness. That's why I told you I'm not getting none of that.
Now, doesn't this all sound a little bit like a simulation? Kind of does. But digital twins are actually virtual environments that operate quite differently from simulations. Now, in a simulation, we model a system or a process to understand its behavior under specific conditions. And simulations, they are static snapshots in time. They are snapshots in time that represent predefined scenarios. But a digital twin, it goes beyond this. It's a living representation of a specific physical asset. So unlike a simulation, a digital twin is continuously updated using real-time data. That's data from sensors reflecting its unique state.
Like the woman driving the car. She had a digital twin. You're a slave, Neil. I told y'all, and especially you Gentiles who listening, y'all in trouble. We all in the same boat right now, but if you believe the scriptures as I do, there's our lie we're going to be leaving. Those who make it out alive. I don't want us to not understand that you don't know if you're going to make it out alive. You got to have faith and trust Yahushua that you're going to make it out alive, but you don't know. There's no guarantees. That's why you got a whole bunch of people under the altar who died during the tribulation. They call them the tribulation saints.
So for example, a digital twin of a turbine in a wind farm can track its real-time blade vibration and temperature, predicting maintenance needs and optimizing performance. And digital twins
or predicting what a person is going to do who's driving a car, where they're going, what they're going to eat. Oh, you know, I could see she's sweating a little bit. Maybe we ought to automatically turn on AC. Oh, maybe she's hungry. Hey, we're going to stop over here by Burger King. I don't want to go to Burger King, but you're hungry. I'm telling you to go get something to eat. Otherwise, you can't drive the car. It's stuff like that. It's not tomorrow. It is happening today. Now, I want y'all to take a look at this particular video, right? This is how they see you. And this is the reality or semi-reality, a false reality that they're creating for the world. Now, this is a game engine called Unreal 5. Unreal 5. All of these people and characters in here are agents. They believe that they're living in this city, right? These agents believe that they are characters in this city. If y'all remember in one of the videos that I did, I showed you about Motebot. And they had all these agents running in this social media platform called Motebot. And they created a religion and they voted and they created a civilization, all that in that social environment. This is a similar idea, but in a, inside of a game.
Is truly incredible. I've messed around with this for about 30 seconds and I am blown away. I never thought we would get to a point like this, and this is absolutely the future of video games and honestly kind of our society. This is Replica Studios' smart NPC for Unreal Engine. So this is a demo of this new technology running in the Unreal Engine City demo, where you can speak to any AI on the street. You can actually walk up and talk to NPCs. So let's give this a go. Hey guys, how you doing?
Hello. You need something from me?
No, I just wanted to say what's up. How's your day going?
Oh, my day has been all right. I'm just exploring the city today.
Oh, nice. Do you live here or just visiting on vacation? He looks very, very sad. He doesn't...
That's none of your business. Why do you ask?
Calm down, buddy. I'm just trying to make some new friends. I'm new here in the city and just exploring. He got really offended by that question for no reason. Sometimes it takes him a little bit of time to answer, but I mean, this is insane.
I apologize for my earlier tone. I'm also new to the city. Maybe we can explore together and become friends.
No way. Also, I do want to give credit to where I first saw this. It was a recommended video on YouTube from Jeff Favinano. So I'll link his video down in the description. Dang, dude, when's the last time you got a haircut?
I actually just got one last week. Maybe it wasn't good enough.
I mean, it's not really my taste, but I guess if it works for you.
This is what you're going to be. Those who stuck in the beast system for those 3.5 years. You're going to be an NPC. You're going to be just another agent controlled by AI. That's what's happening. That's what they want. It's already happening.
I'll listen to what Joe is saying is going to happen. This is all being rolled out in phases. In fact, wait till the end and I'm going to show you what's happening in other countries.
Why do you think every store is pushing self-checkout so hard? It's not about efficiency, rather it's about control. Right now it feels convenient. You just scan your items, you pay, and you go. But of course, phase 1 is always about getting us comfortable. In phase 2, stores with no employees, no cashiers, just shelves, cameras, and drones watching your every move. And here's the twist. It's not just about monitoring. We'll control what you can buy using something called carbon credits. Every product you pick up will deduct from your yearly limit. Do you want a fancy lab-grown steak? Well, sure, but that might cost you all your credits for the year. Luxury items will be rationed, and you'll be stuck with sustainable choices that have already been decided are good for you. Think about the illusion of choice. But your groceries, your meals, all pre-approved by AI systems. If you step out of line, pick up something unauthorized, and boom, the drones captures you. Maybe they even shut down your payment chip. A system is likely being built where you don't decide what's in your cart, they do. And it all starts with a simple self-checkout.
In front of Korea's fully automated high-tech convenience store located in Seoul. No employees, no kiosk machine here. It's fully operated by AI system, the artificial intelligence. I know, I can't believe it either, so let's go find out how this works. All right, the entrance looks like a subway entrance, and you need to scan your credit card or QR code in order to enter. You can get a QR code on your phone by downloading the GS25 app. Register your credit card number and activate the QR code entrance. This mobile app is where you will get your receipt when you purchase products at the store. But if this whole process is too much for you, you can always enter by simply scanning your credit card. All right, now I'm in, and it looks exactly the same as any other convenience stores. And now I'm going to shop and pick some of the items I want to buy. And here comes the most shocking part. Did you see that? So I did not scan the barcode of these items and I did not pay for them, but the payment was automatically processed when I left through that exit, and I even got my mobile receipt.
She's just another NPC in a video game. Who wants to live in a world like that? I don't.
How's the New World Order treating you?
How is this even legal? That's what I want to know. Are you recorded? Do you need help? I don't know. Do I? What? So this is a reverse ATM. People come with cash and they can't use it. They have to come here. Correct. That's just a cashless building. I have never seen a reverse ATM. So the idea is it works just like a regular ATM, but instead of putting in your card and getting cash, you put in your cash and get a card.
But also, because it's a regular debit Visa card, you can use it outside of the building.
Okay.
So if you wanted to go to Walmart or McDonald's or Target, wherever you want to spend your money, it's just a regular debit Visa card.
They're already getting rid of the cash. They have a reverse ATM machine. Instead of getting cash, you put cash in and get a card so that you can trade digitally. I told you. There's no time left. We're at the end game.
Growing number of businesses will not even accept cash anymore.
Yeah, they are starting to set up reverse ATMs that quickly turns cash into a prepaid debit card to be used on the fly. And Dre Clark explains from New York City. Dre, I've never heard of this. Mitch has never heard of this. What's it about?
Yeah, you know, I never heard of it either until I read about it last night. It's relatively new, but it's slowly but surely catching on. You know, cash is really still king. But reverse ATMs are definitely the way of the future as more businesses look for ways to go cashless. Here at Madison Square Garden in Midtown Manhattan, They already have machines inside the arena that can actually convert your cash into a debit card here. Now here you can see exactly how it works. You load money into a kiosk like you see here, and within seconds, you can get a receipt confirming your conversion and a prepaid active card. Many of the prepaid cards are either MasterCard or Visa, and you can use them anywhere where those cards are accepted. Some kiosks may actually charge you a $5 fee for the card. Meanwhile, amusement parks, fast food restaurants, and many professional sports venues are already using the cash to card kiosk.
Because a digital currency, and this is all accepted, this is not theory, is programmable. They can program a digital currency to mean you can only spend it on certain things and you can't spend it on others not designated by the government. And it's programmable so it can only be spent in a certain area. So if you go outside of your zone, your money won't work. And not only that, it means that when you go past one of these number plate cameras when you quote shouldn't, you won't be able to challenge the fine because the fine will be taken out of your digital account the moment you transgress. This is what's happening.
Hey, everybody.
I've been telling you that the world is moving fast. It's automation, it's artificial intelligence, it's robotics, and you keep thinking that this is the future. So today I try to give you real life examples. So today I come get a blood test for one of my policies, and I'm in this beautiful medical facility here, all right? And it's very nicely done, all right? Very nicely done. Everything about it is, first rate, right? And I'm impressed with the facilities, and all of this is, very beautifully done. Very beautifully done. But upstairs, and I'll show you a couple of pictures. Upstairs, when I go, one thing you're noticing or you're not noticing are a lot of employees running around. Look at this hallway, right? Not a lot of employees walking around. And upstairs, I'm being quiet because I probably shouldn't be doing this. I just got to show you. So upstairs, I go to get my blood test, and I've never seen this before. I walk in the waiting room, and there's no reception area. No employees, no reception area, no window, no one talking to you, nothing. It's a machine, just like you go to Taco Bell or Burger King, or go to a restaurant, increasingly restaurants, but look, they've automated it, and I had to check myself in. I give my ID on the machine, my insurance card, or whatever it is, and it gives you an appointment. It says you can either chill there or go away and come back 10 minutes before your appointment.
So what's going to happen? People are going to live in these smart cities, and you're not going to have a regular social life like you do now. You're not going to be able to decide, hey, I want to go over to Billy Bob house or go over to Susan's house. You're not going to be able to, Leroy, whatever. You're not going to be able to do that without getting permission. You're not going to have a lot of human contact. You're going to have a whole bunch of robots. And the only time you're going to get contact with humans is just like you do if you're in prison. You get 10 minutes in the sun, play a little basketball and socialize and go back to your cell. That's what they're doing. It's already here. It's already here.
They're coming after your children. Watch this.
Section 6 and 7 of the Act
change existing law in order to permit a provider to administer preventative care, including vaccinations, to a minor child without the knowledge or consent of the parents, and even if the child is incapable of providing informed consent. And the Act keeps the records of that preventative care permanently hidden from the parents. I actually don't think I have to say anything more, but I will go a little further. The legislative summary of this provision on Senator Roush's webpage is not correct. The summary says the bill allows, quote, mature minors capable of consenting to medical treatment, unquote, to access vaccination. But Section 12F, as amended by the proposed bill, does not contain any such limitation. The provision relating to access to preventative care does not require that the minor be mature, does not be of any particular age, or have the intellectual or emotional capacity to make important decisions about health care.
So you're not going to have any say-so over how you raise your children, what kind of education you give them, what kind of medical stuff they can have. AI is going to make those decisions for you. But you're not going to leave. Hashtag ain't no 400-year prophecy. Just like we told y'all way back in 2016, what was coming.
Pay attention to this, folks. The pro-Israel forces in Congress are trying to merge the U.S. and Israeli militaries. I'm not kidding. Yes. While the American public is against sending billions of dollars to Israel, Israel and its supporters in Washington have found a new, far more insidious way to deepen U.S. support for the Israeli military. They're shifting away from that unpopular aid to military integration. Tucked inside the National Defense Authorization Act, which is the massive annual bill that funds and sets policies for the Pentagon, is something called Section 224, the United States-Israel Defense Technology Cooperation Initiative. It sounds harmless, but it's not. This provision would dramatically expand military integration between the United States and Israel, going far beyond the $200 billion in military aid the U.S. has already provided since 1948. Here's all the things it would promote: joint weapons development, co-production, technology sharing, AI cooperation, cyber operations, autonomous weapon systems, biotechnology, quantum computing, and even network integration and data fusion. At a time when Israel is continuing its rampage in Gaza, the West Bank, Lebanon, and has pushed the U.S. into this disastrous war in Iran, Congress is proposing to bind our military even closer to Israel's. That's right. Section 224 would move the Israeli relationship away from the little public scrutiny there is in Congress into the opaque world of military contracts and weapons purchases. It would make it harder for Congress and us, the public, to hold anyone accountable. That's why we need to let Congress know we are watching, and they must reject.
What she fails to realize, the so-called facade of a constitution and constitutional protections is gone. America is run by oligarchy. And now you're going to have this relationship, militarily wise, with the most violent, lack of empathy, compassion, whatever you want to call it, group of people on the history of the planet. And guess what? Who you think they're going to come for? Why you think they're going to be coordinating? If the dragon is making war against a woman, what group of people and what military is the devil using? Is the dragon using? What group of people or military is Satan using to do all these things? I know the blasphemy of them who say they're Yahudim or not, but do lie. They are of what? The synagogue of who? Do y'all see now? I'm sure some of y'all still can't see. Oh, you know, Jacoba been saying this, Jacoba been saying that. Ain't nothing happening. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Okay. But this is my timeline. I could be right. I could be wrong. We about to find out. I think I'm right. The wilderness got to happen, in my opinion, assuming I'm right. Otherwise, we're screwed. The wilderness has to happen somewhere between 2027 and 2028 to meet that 3.5-year span of being in the wilderness and the rulership of the beast system. Now, as I've showed you today, the beast system is already here. And it is intensifying. It is locking down. It is flexing its muscles. In my opinion, mind you, if we're not out of here around this time, somewhere between 2027 and 28, right up in there. I know it's a negative thing, but I'm just telling you how I feel. We're screwed. Now, I believe the Most High come and get us. I don't have no problem with that. But understand this. Some of y'all eschatology is incorrect because y'all waiting on the second Exodus. And the second Exodus will happen. But according to scriptures, what's next is the wilderness. And from my understanding, what we call the second Exodus, where the Israelites are gathered from the globe, from the four corners, is going to happen somewhere around 2030, 2031, 2032, after the beast system is defeated. As for the two witnesses, y'all could go and look at my position on the two witnesses. I believe it's the southern and northern tribe. That's my position. Go watch my video and see why I make the case. I do know it's not the happy-go-lucky type message most people want. Oh, we're going to just get out of here. We're going to just roll on out and we're going to be on the cruise ships and we're going to head back to Africa and we're going to have a party on the cruise ships. No, that ain't how it happened the first Exodus, and it's not happening that way on the second Exodus. The first Exodus, they were running for their lives. They were being chased by Pharaoh. They came up against water. Looked like they were about to be deleted. And Moses raised his hands and the water split. See, we make stuff up in our heads on what we want it to be. We make stuff in our head. We come up with stuff like, and it sounds good. I ain't gonna lie. I like the idea of a cruise ship. I like the idea of a orderly exit. But that's not how it happened. And when they went into the wilderness, what happened? Man, we should have stayed in Egypt. Y'all know a whole bunch of Israelites going to be complaining. We should have stayed in America. Man, we had food, we had water, we had shelter. Look at us out here. We ain't got no water. I'll take angel food any day than the poison they giving us. There's the link, brother Fast Nickel, and whoever wants to come on. I'm convinced this is probably one of my last shows. There's not going to be many more after this, based upon what I'm seeing. Hey, brother Fast Nickel, how you been?
Good, and yourself?
Oh, dealing with these end times, man. Dealing with the end times.
You know, it's interesting that you put this out today, because I was actually going to email you yesterday because of what Gates Holder put out. I don't know. Did you see that yesterday?
What was it? I don't know.
So she's kind of talking about what you're talking about, but about the AI agenda leading to 2030.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. So I'm
okay.
actually going to talk about that tonight on my Zoom class. And if you remember, when we were talking on your shows, I talked about having your own wallet because, we've talked about smart contracts, but the thing about smart contracts, they can put they can put code in that contract to where they can tell you, hey, you can't buy certain things, or you have to use it at certain times of day. Like they can, because of digital, they can do so many things that you would not even think that they would do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's scary what they could do with digital. And Justin, let me show your face right quick because you're a first time visitor, so I need to see you, and then you can hide yourself. But yeah, okay, I'll bring you on after Brother Fast Nickel. So yeah, when we looking at this whole digital ID stuff, right? Which, let me ask you this, Brother Fast Nickel, because you keep an eye on the cryptocurrency. What's the talk on the digital ID? Because we hear what's happening in the UK. What are you hearing on that?
So the two things I'm hearing is, to your comment where you were saying people say, well, nothing's happening. But the truth is a lot is happening behind the scenes. It's just that they haven't, and I'm guessing they're just going to roll it, like they're just going to flip the switch and surprise everybody, because all these big corporations, they're all in play. And, you have said, and I have said, that we know that crypto is going to be part of that system, and we're just using it as a tool to get out. And I've said it then, and just on your video now, I'm saying it more and more now. Like when crypto, let's say in the next 6 to 12 months, I don't know the time frame, but when it explodes and you have money, you need to take that money and buy that physical asset if you're looking to go to the continent. Because if you hold it thinking, oh, you know what, I'm going to let it grow and grow and grow, you never know if they put code in play that now you can't even use your crypto. If you don't use it the way they want you to use it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, if you get crypto, I think you're going to have like 3 months, 6 months max to get your land in Africa, if that's what you want to do, wherever you're going to go and whatever you're going to do. Because there's that transitional period they're going to want you in, and everybody happy. Look how easy it is to purchase with digital assets, right? And digital currency. And then they're going to, as Brother Fast Nickel, they're going to flip that switch on you. And then you ain't going to be able to use it for what you want.
Correct. And you talk a lot about Africa and the continent being the wilderness, but I don't know, for those who are not really paying attention, Africa makes so much sense because of all the continents, it's the one continent that's so behind technology wise. So at least for a certain period of time, it's the one place that can hide.
Exactly. I mean, they're putting up towers and stuff, but it's mainly in the main cities like, Durban in South Africa and all of that, Cape Town, Kenya. You're going to have to avoid those places, even though they're beautiful. If you don't want to be part of that, because, most of these guys are Freemasons, some of these black leaders. And, like I said, there's a lot of Freemasons in the Israelite community. And, I'm just overwhelmed personally.
My thought is this: if you're paying attention, you'll be able to hide for a certain period of time, but you ultimately need to be under the covering of the Most High. So what will happen is you'll be able to hide until the Most High is ready to fully cover us. But those who were hard-headed, let's say the 5 virgins that were hard-headed, they're the one that are going to feel a real pain.
And what about the ones who deny the deity of the Messiah and not worshiping the Messiah and all? They're in trouble. Rejecting the New Testament, all they are in trouble. They're gonna take the mark. They're gonna take the mark.
Listen, at Disney, I got two employee co-workers. They both got the Ray-Ban glasses. It looks pretty cool, but it's scary. Yeah. And Disney, for like at least 3 or 4 years, they've already been cashless. You got to put your cash into their terminals, and they'll give you out a digital, a plastic card.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Disney.
Yeah, I know some people with the Ray-Bans, right? But here's the thing. Y'all keep pursuing that technology just like they did with the earbuds, the wireless earbuds. You're burning your brains, right? Same thing with the little Ray-Bans, right? You're burning your brain. You think the little Bluetooth not doing stuff to your brain. It is. But let me move on to Justin. Hey, Justin.
What's going on, Brother Cobra? Man, it's funny that you chose this topic to talk on today. By the way, it's not my first time talking to you. It's been a while though because of work. But
did you change your name? Because I don't remember the name.
I think I usually just put Justin. I think I usually go with my first name. Okay. But I don't know. I'd be typing stuff whenever I see you letting people on. I try to hurry up because you be having a long line. But it's funny you were bringing up this topic today because I've been studying Revelation and kind of looking at timeline of things that's got to happen. And something that I thought I used to be sure on that I'm not so sure on anymore. I used to think that the coming of the Antichrist and the releasing of the first seal were two separate events. The first seal being the one that rides the white horse that's given a bow and a crown to go and conquer. I used to think of those as two separate events. But now I'm not entirely sure if that's two separate events. There might be one event, and the one riding the white horse is the Antichrist instead of just being the spirit of the Antichrist. That's what I used to believe.
I think it's the Antichrist because, the scripture also says, by peace he shall destroy many, right? And we see that white horse, he has a crown, he has a bow with no arrows, right? Which means, he's conquering through peace. You know? And I agree.
Right. So,
I think it's Trump, but go ahead.
Well, no, what I was going to say was, what's going to confirm, the opening of the second seal will be the opening of will confirm the opening of the first seal will be when the second seal gets opened. The second seal will be the one that rides a red horse. I believe that that's specifically talking about, this very unique World War III scenario that we're approaching, because World War III is going to be very different from even World War I, World War II, and any other conflict we've ever had in the history of the world. And I think the usage of the word, he's going to take peace from the earth, which means that there's going to be some kind of conflict involving pretty much everybody who's able to have a conflict. So even the places we will flee to, there might be some civil war type scenario going on in those places as well.
Oh yeah. I think so.
But
here's the thing. I personally think that we're in the fourth seal going into the fifth. That's what I think. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, see, and that's the thing. I was trying to figure out based on what I'm looking at, right? Let's say, for example, we are on the first seal, but we won't get confirmation for the first seal to the second seal. In other words, World War III really kicks off, which, we have like 3 or 4 powder kegs that can go off at any given moment to be a full blown World War III. China could invade Taiwan. North Korea can invade South Korea. Russia could escalate, what they're doing in Ukraine and actually expand. Cause you see they accidentally bombed Romania the other day. And now Romania is like, why is NATO not doing anything to protect us? Which is causing the U.S. allies to sort of look at the U.S. because the U.S. make up most of NATO's finances, power, military backing, all of that, which is helping line up some prophecy there. But then you also have the Iran situation. I don't know if you saw the breaking news, but Iran said that they canceled all talks with the U.S. because Israel bombed Beirut today. So any peace talks that was going on with that is shut down again. So we have a bunch of powder kegs right now that can go off at any given moment that can cause full blown World War III. And that's just what I know about. I don't even know about other conflicts going on around the world. But if World War III pop off, we could see that as the opening of the second seal being the red horse, which will confirm Donald Trump possibly, or maybe even another major player that I'm not aware of being the Antichrist. And then from there, we'll really start to see that famine. And then from that famine, we'll start to see that death. And then we'll start to see the other things in Revelation that follows behind that. And I'm saying it to say this. I thought that would drastically change the timeline, but really, no matter which way you look at it, it doesn't affect the timeline at all, because these Satanists, they have their plan as well, and the timeline they have with their plan. And I've been noticing the timeline they have with their plan has been kind of lining up with the Most High's timeline anyway. It's almost as if they are reading the same book that we're reading and looking at the things lined up in the world, and they forcing things to happen, and it seems to be right on schedule.
But like I had said before, I believe, 2019, they saw the massive awakening of the Negro, and that was the trigger that it was time for them to implement their plan, which is why they had that whole pandemic,
Right.
But,
I think so as well.
Yeah, Dorsey, let me see your face because you're new here, and I'll let you on.
But yeah, I just wanted to share those thoughts, man. I didn't want to take up too much of your time. I appreciate you letting me on. And brother Fast Nickel, man, I was thinking about you too, because I saw one of my cryptos started going crazy, and I can't even explain why. It just started moving.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Justin. Appreciate it. Looked like his sound went out anyway.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. No, I was telling brother Fast Nickel, I was saying XLM just went crazy for no reason, which is kind of like letting me know, okay, things getting ready to kick off, because I feel like some other cryptos gonna follow what it's been doing the past couple of days. But yeah, that's all I want to say, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. I appreciate y'all letting me on.
All right, thanks. All right, Dorsey, Maribel, I'll let you on. Let me see your face right quick. You can hide it once you show it, since it's your first time coming on. Okay, you can hide it if you want. That's good. I'll bring you on. You can keep it on if you want. If you're gonna hide it, you could go ahead and hide it. I'm gonna bring you on. Okay. All right, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? I just want to thank you and Karis for the tireless work that y'all doing, bringing us these. Hey, how you doing? I just want to thank you and Karis for the tireless work that y'all doing, bringing us these. Hey, I just want to thank you and Karis for the tireless work that y'all doing, bringing us these.
Can you turn off your video, because there's a feedback?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So what do you think about all this, Brother Dorsey?
I think it's playing out just like the scriptures say, just like y'all keep reminding us each and every day. It's playing out like ace, king, queen, jack, 10, 9, 8. It's playing out.
Definitely. I think that our people not ready for what's coming, and because it's already here.
I talked to my father, and I've been telling him, what I've been learning, and he said, I ain't going nowhere.
That's everybody, fam.
I said, you gonna try to hold on and cling to this stuff? Pop, these people was about to be punished and destroyed.
Yeah. Yep. And if we still here, we're gonna be destroyed with them.
Sir, I'm gonna be on the first thing smoking out of here, man.
I think we all are. Me and brother Fast Nickel waiting for that door to open with the crypto, and we out.
He said it's gonna be flea. It's gonna be a flea. The same way they chased them, they gonna tell us to get out of here, and then they gonna get mad and try to bring us back, because they gonna see that without us, all the cards of this society is gonna fall down.
Oh yeah. And the interesting thing is, with all of this happening, we have on the continent, them asking for reparations. We have the Pope apologizing. We have France removing the Cote Noir. All this stuff, and our people be like, that don't mean nothing.
Like, look, I said, Uncle Curtis, didn't I tell you that the church was going to admit what happened to us? I told them this months ago. I said, you didn't see the Pope? Well,
Yep, exactly.
Well, they think that because you believe that you are Hebrew and you are Israelite, that you denying Christ. I said, I'm not denying Christ. I know that Christ fulfilled all the prophecies of the Old Testament. I'm just saying that there's a special appointed people that he loves and he's going to get them.
Yeah, the problem, one of the main problems with Christianity, because there's a lot of problems with them, is that they ignore the covenant, right? And the covenant is made with one man called Jacob, right? Which is called Israel, which is a family. So for them to act like the covenant no longer matters, then that means that the Most High not keeping his word to those people, right? So
John 3:16.
Yeah.
Stuck on it. And my Uncle Curtis and my dad, they go to a so-called church where these people sit on one side of the church and they sit on the other. I've been there a bunch of times. All the so-called FBA sit in a little group in the middle of the pews on one side of the church. There's people that sit 4 or 5 pews in front of them, and then the other one sit 4 or 5 pews behind them. Nobody even sit close to them.
What people you talking about?
I'm not gonna say it. Let's just say.
You talk about. Are you saying this is a multi-ethnic church or something? Is that what
it's basically 2 ethnicities?
Yeah. Okay. I got you. Okay.
They nice people. They good people. But I'm wondering why they still segregate themselves from us. If they if we equal and
Oh yeah, that's just the way it is, right? It's like when in high school, they eat together, we eat together. I went to a predominantly.
We not inviting you over our house.
Yeah, exactly. I went to a predominantly white church when I was in Christianity one time, and it was the same thing, right? Blacks are separate from whites. I mean, they intermingle sometimes, but for the most part, that's how it is. Why? Because the relationship is just not going to be there because of the history. You know what I'm saying? And that's with anybody, right? Because most ethnic groups hate black folks, right? We ain't do nobody nothing, but they don't like us.
Check at the door when you walk into a church. No, I mean, that's supposed to be the whole idea of we all equal, right? I guess. Somehow
it's never been. It's never been.
Right.
And if you look at the people who work for the churches, they all white. The only person who is black are usually the choir director.
It took 20 years for them to allow my dad to start collecting up the money, and he was faithful. He goes Bible study, all that.
Yeah, and he's learning Christianity and not the Bible.
The original pastor died. The guy that brought him to the church, he died, and he thought that they was gonna make him pastor. Passed him over. Then found somebody else.
Oh yeah,
So
they'll let him start his own church before he take that one.
Left the church. Lonzo left the church, and the rest of the people that the African Americans that he brought in there, his co-workers from GM Frigidaire days that he known for years and years, he brought them in there, and then he left them and went to another church. And it's the same thing. He thought they was gonna make him a pastor, and they made somebody else a pastor.
Oh yeah. That's how it goes. Any final comments, Brother Dorsey? They
want to be loved so bad.
Yeah, by us. You got any final comments, Brother Dorsey? Because I got to shut this
down. That's all I have to say. And once again, thank y'all and for submitting to the will of the Lord. I appreciate it. But ain't nobody listening, man.
I agree.
The only people that he gonna give to listen is listening. Hardly ain't nobody listening. Huh?
I agree. Thanks for coming on, Brother Dorsey. All right. Final comment, Brother Fast Nickel.
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah. Okay.
So, me and Karis were talking about Trump. So, it's funny, the church, the popes, recognized slavery was wrong. But anytime anybody ever brings up reparations in this country, they always talk about, oh, we got to have a committee, we got to have this, we got to have that. But what Trump did with this January 6th thing, he set the precedent that they don't need no committee and he can just give the money. And so those people, which obviously the January 6th are mostly not us, so they're going to be happy about that. But it's funny, we're looking at the perfect storm. We got him doing that with January 6th with the reparations. We got the AI stuff, and now we got 2030. Like everything is all culminating at the same time.
Exactly. Let me ask you this right quick, Brother Fast Nickel. What's going on in Cuba?
So I haven't talked to my family about that, but so I think they want to make Cuba like it was pre-Castro, because Cuba was the haven of the Caribbean prior to Castro.
Yeah.
I know my aunt, she used to go back and forth to Cuba all the time in the 30s and 40s. So I'm hearing that they kind of want to do that again. But other than that, I've never seen Cuba as a place for resources. But a lot of these islands have a lot of resource that we're not familiar with.
So they were saying that Cuba is, don't have any power because they don't have any oil, and there's only the only place that has power is this high class hotel.
Yeah, so Cuba, unfortunately, is a very have and have not scenario. The poor live. I mean, I had a coworker who went there. She went to visit, and the poor. I mean, literally, the poor live. You can't even imagine how poor it is there.
And they're mostly black, right?
Yes, the Black Cubans.
Yeah. Okay. Any thing else, Brother Fast Nickel?
Nothing more. Just like you said, hey, keep your crypto, have your private wallets, because if anything, you might have to just barter underground and just be able to use your crypto to buy things from people if you need stuff, because as crazy it may sound, but when you look at, as you say, you look at Terminator, where it's man versus machines. You look at all these movies of the 80s, we thought of it as sci-fi, but it's all playing out into reality. So you have to be ready for any situation that's going to play. That's why I always say just diversify in every way, because you don't know what thing that you have in place you're going to need at the moment.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not sure, how much we can do, but it's like with anything, you plan for a storm, you put some money away, you pack your bags, have some extra water, stuff like that. I'm like, that's about all you can do.
Correct.
So, all right. Thanks, Brother Fast Nickel. So, fam, that's the news for the day. I know it's not great good news, but I mean, the only good news is that means our redemption drawing near. And what I would ask the family who follow this ministry to do is to seek the Most High in prayer and fasting. We need help, right? I'm convinced that I'm correct. That doesn't mean I'm correct, but I'm convinced I'm correct. And that the timing of the pace of what we're seeing technology-wise and implementations, how fast they're moving, getting rid of cash, basically, and just everything, right? And that's what I said, even in the last show about the picture puzzle, the puzzles are coming together, and it's coming together very fast. I don't see, just based upon, the way I see scripture and understanding the prophets, because like I said, I believe we're already in the fourth seal, right? Going into the fifth seal. That don't mean I'm right, but that's what I think. And if that's the case, then, everything else is lining up, right? When you look at scripture, you study Revelation, there is a level of a sequence of events, right? Some things may have sort of happened already, right? Because, you know, all of those seals are sort of rolled up, rolled up in a timeline, right? So we can't just put it on like a ruler and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But I believe we are about the fourth going into the fifth seal. And I believe the wilderness experience is very close. Like I say, I believe next year, because based upon what I'm seeing, unless something changes, right? Some kind of national event that, you know, maybe the people rise up, overthrow the oligarchs and stop the data centers, then we're going straight ahead into Revelation 13. And like I said, too, not saying I'm right about Trump. Trump looks like the man to send to me. Maybe, maybe not. We're going to find out. So that's all I got, family. Had to share it with y'all because the time is short and there is a falling away happening in real life, right? It's happening in real time right now. The falling away amongst Ezra Alawi, amongst Christians, amongst everybody, right? A lot of people, except for the true redeemed remnant who trust and hold and understands the gospel, right? You know, and like I say, you know, when it comes to Christians, a lot of Christians at least, you know, understand that they call him Jesus, but they understand he's God. They understand he's the way. They understand they don't come to the Father except through him, right? Whereas you got these Israelites coming in with all kind of new crazy doctrine, right? And that's why, you know, Paul said, if anybody come teaching any other Christ or any other doctrine than what we taught, let them be anathema, right? And that's what I say. They are anathema. Right. I don't want to have nothing to do with them. Don't want to talk to them. They could step right. Leave me alone because I ain't going to have nothing to do with you. Right. You want to dig the ditch and you want to jump in it. You go ahead. Just don't bring other people with you. So if y'all want to support this ministry, you can give Cash App $TOTW7101. You can also give by going to tailministry.com. Click on the donations tab. There's other ways to give. And I will suggest that you go ahead and share this video, right, with your family and friends, even if they don't want to watch it, because the time is short. Okay, I'm telling you, there's no time left, not much at all, right? It's short, very short. I mean, from what I'm seeing, there's just that's why I say I'm just flabbergasted with what's happening prophetically, and most people still sleeping. My family's still sleeping too. They don't get it. They don't get it. Right? Your family, most of them, they don't get it. They're not going to get it. Right? But you got to intercede for them. You got to pray for them because most people ain't making it. That's why the Bible says, unless those days were short and no flesh will be saved. You remember when we thought it was nukes, and I'm not saying it's not nukes. It could be nukes. But you know what it looks like today? It looks like it's AI. That's what it looks like. It looks like it's the lollipop. Right? Biological technology. DNA manipulation. Right? Poisoning air, food, water, skies. It's on a whole different level. All the things that's happening to us today is on a whole different level. And if you want to email me, yeah, you can email me. It's, you know, tail7101@gmail.com. You can email me. I prefer to have conversation through email if you want to have conversation. So, oh, and also, somebody said that they wanted a copy of these slides. What I'll do, I'll create a post on the tailministries.com website under the news, and I'll put those slides there, and you can download it. So, well, fam, you know, pray for the body of the Messiah, you know, those both Jew and Gentile who trust in Yahushua, to make it through these last days. Be honest with you, I wish I wasn't in these last days, but at the same time, Yahuwah chose us for these times. He created us to be here for these times so that we can be a blessing and a light to the world, right? So that's what we need to do. We may not want to be in this situation because it's scary, right? I mean, not that I'm fearful. It seems overwhelming, right? And, you know, the Bible said that Israel wouldn't have any power in their hands. We don't have any power in our hands, right? We don't. All we can do is trust in our shepherd, right, to save his sheep. So love y'all with the love of the Messiah. Peace and blessings, Israel. Your captivity is ending.
Well, family, the wait is over. The moment has arrived where truth emerges triumphant from the shadows of history. Introducing the True Jerusalem, the Lost Kingdoms of the Israelites, the groundbreaking work by me, Jacoby Vale, a journey into the past that reshapes the future. I cut through centuries of misconceptions with piercing clarity. This book delivers a compelling case packed with evidence that commands attention and gonna get some respect. Come with me for a second, family, and discover how these thrilling civilizations flourished, protected by towering highlands and sustained by advanced engineering. Some have asked, where is Jerusalem? Is it the land in the Middle East? I say no. It is in the highlands of Ethiopia. With hours of groundbreaking research, this book brings in a new revelation, and it will transform your understanding of African history and its connections to the ancient world. It's going to remove from your mind the conditioning by the Romans of what has really happened to our past. Come with me, family, to the Ethiopian highlands and find out why this is our land. Why things have been hidden and obfuscated for centuries. We are royalty, children of the Most High. What kind of land do you expect us to have? Dried up dirt in the Middle East, or land flowing with rivers? A land full of beautiful animals flowing with milk and honey. Don't miss out on this monumental unveiling. Grab your copy today and stand on the side of truth. Visit Amazon.com or www.tailministries.com to purchase your book and join Jacoby Vale's teachings on Tail Ministries. Family, your journey to a hidden history has now begun. So family, get your copy of True Jerusalem, the Lost Kingdoms of the Israelites today. Journey to the heart of Africa, where history and legend converge to reveal the forgotten kingdoms of the Israelites and the true location of Jerusalem.